My name is Carl, and my story is a touching one. I am an orphan, a gift from the forest. My super mama found me there, lying in a wooden box, and she took care of me with all her heart. I don't know why the forest gave me away. My life is a mystery, and this is where my story begins.
In the quiet village of Nuru, far away in the red earth lands, small mud huts with thatched roofs stood quietly. Smoke rose from cooking fires, and a big iroko tree shaded the center. The village was surrounded by thick forest, hidden and peaceful. Here lived an old woman called Super Mama, strong of heart and kind to all. She earned that name because she could do anything. She was brave, she was wise, and her heart was big enough to hold the whole village. She fetched water from the old well and cooked her delicious meals happily, filling the air with the rich, comforting scent of food and love.
This is delicious.
One morning, Super Mama woke up early and hurried to the forest to gather mushrooms for her soup. She bent down, plucking mushrooms into her basket. Then, something unusual caught her eye. She lifted her head, and there, lying on the forest floor, was a wooden box glowing with a soft golden light. Oh my! Her heart skipped a beat. She stepped closer, hands trembling, and slowly opened the lid. Inside lay a tiny boy with bright red hair staring up at her with wide, curious eyes. A child! Here? She covered her mouth with her hand and gasped. What a miracle!
Your name shall be called Karl.
The boy grew to be hard-working. Every day he would sweep the house, go to the market to buy foodstuffs, and walk to the stream to fetch water. So diligent. But the other children never let him be. They laughed and teased, calling him the red-haired boy. Ha ha, red-haired boy. Ha ha, red-haired boy. Yet no matter how much they mocked him, Karl kept his head high and worked with a strong heart.
Karl, my son, your food is ready. Don't let it get cold.
I am coming, Super Mama.
Then came the night of the bravery test. That night, something stirred in the kitchen. Was it a rat or a village thief? Let's find out.
Who is there? Leave Super Mama's beans alone!
Yes, it was only a rat. Karl quickly chased it out of the house before it caused any trouble. That morning, Karl told Super Mama about the rat. She smiled and said, "You are so brave, my son. What courage." Super Mama told him to go pluck mushrooms from the forest, and quietly he obeyed. Off he goes. While in the forest, he heard a strange sound. What is that? He looked around and saw a bird crying in pain, its wings trembling as it struggled among the branches. I must help the bird, he said, as he carefully climbed up the tall tree, reaching toward the struggling creature. He climbed higher and higher. Up he goes, letting out a small sigh and muttering, as he reached toward the struggling bird. He carefully loosened the rope from the bird, finally, and the bird flapped its wings happily. From that moment, they became friends. As he climbed down from the tree, his foot slipped on the wet branch. Oh no! And he tumbled to the ground. The echo of his fall resounded through the forest. And nearby hunters and farmers ran quickly to rescue the boy. When he was brought back to the hut, Supermama's heart sank and tears filled her eyes. Oh, my son! He was taken to the village physician, where he was carefully treated and cared for until he felt better. He walked slowly around the village with a walking stick, his eyes scanning the land. But something caught his attention. What is happening? The crops in every field were dying, brown and brittle under the scorching sun. The villagers looked worried and hungry, their faces drawn and tired. He ran quickly towards Supermama's farm, hoping for a better sight, but there too, the crops were all dried. There is famine. His heart sank, knowing that the village would not survive much longer without help. He hurried back to the hut to find Supermama lying weak on her mat. Oh no! There was no food in the village, and the empty pots in the hut told the same story. Sitting beside her, KARL took her hand and said, "Don't worry, Supermama. I will find a way to end this famine." Suddenly, a great noise rose outside. What is happening? It was Alfonso, the seer of truth. He stood tall with his staff, his voice ringing through the village as he prophesied. There is a land far away, hidden deep in the sacred forest, a land full of fruits and vegetables. The villagers murmured in hope and fear. KARL felt his heart tighten with determination. Without hesitation, he knew what he had to do. He was ready to go in search of that land and save his people.
I must save the villagers from this famine.
Off he set on his journey into the forest of horrible creatures. The trees grew taller and darker as he walked. Soon he reached the Valley of Bones, a silent land filled with the remains of animals and forgotten travelers. But KARL did not tremble. With slow, steady breaths, he crossed through with bravery, refusing to look back even once. He ran on and soon entered a wide desert. As he walked, he noticed something unusual, a large footprint far bigger than that of any animal. He bent down and observed it carefully, his heart beating fast.
What's this thing?
He carefully followed the big footprints into the forest, each step filling him with tense curiosity. Just ahead of him lies the sleeping monster. It was too late to run. The creature could sense a human nearby.
I smell human! I will crush you to pieces!
He ran quickly, as fast as he could, and hid in a cave. The monster's big foot thundered past the cave. KARL covered his mouth. Oh, thank goodness! As the monster growled while passing, it didn't see him. In the cave, a bird suddenly flew in. Karl's eyes widened as he quickly recognized it. It was the same bird he had rescued in the village forest. His old friend had returned, and he giggled. "Ah, my friend!" The bird flew closer and dropped a magical wooden flute on Karl's hands. Wow! He played it happily. The flute was no ordinary instrument. It held the mysterious power of the forest, and its music could control the trees, the wind, and all that lived within and beyond the forest. The monster was still searching for Karl when it suddenly heard the sound of the flute. "What is this?" A strange dizziness overcame it, and soon it fell into a deep sleep. The power of the magical flute had weakened it. Karl stepped out of the cave and entered the forest, where giant tree roots coiled on the ground like snakes. Whoa! The giant tree roots weren't just coiled, they moved. Oh! They twisted and slithered across the ground like living snakes. The tree root snakes! He ran and ran, heart pounding, as the tree root snake chased after him.
Leave me alone!
Suddenly, the tree root snakes caught him, coiling tightly around his feet, his hands, and his whole body. Oh no! He pulled out the magical forest flute from his pocket and played it. The power in the flute burst out in a sudden magical flame, sweeping through the air. It struck the tree root snakes, burning their coils until they loosened and shrank away. He ran forward, out of the dark forest, and beyond it, he finally found it, the land of fruits and vegetables, at last. Bright colors filled his eyes, trees heavy with ripe mangoes, fields glowing with fresh vegetables, and sweet scents drifting in the air. It was truly a place of abundance. He sat there laughing and playing, feeling light for the first time in days. He picked mangoes, watermelon, oranges, and cucumbers, piling them beside him with wide eyes. Then he ate as many as he could, sweet juice running down his chin. Oh, his belly finally full and his heart bubbling with joy. He found a narrow route in the land, a quiet, still river shining softly. Beside it rested a small wooden boat. Karl stepped into it, filled it with oranges, mangoes, carrots, vegetables, everything he could gather, and began his journey back to the village, paddling straight toward home. As he paddled home, soon the familiar edge of his village appeared. The villagers saw him from afar, and their eyes widened with joy and happiness. Karl jumped out of the boat and ran straight to Super Mama, wrapping his arms around her. She held him tightly, tears of relief in her eyes. The villagers hugged him too, welcoming him proudly. They carried the plenty fruits and vegetables to their huts, laughing and thanking the spirits for his return. Soon, everyone gathered around the young hero, clapping and singing, "Karl is brave and mighty, even though he is small." The villagers carried their few belongings and loaded them into the village boats, ready to relocate to the land of fruits and vegetables. They moved with excitement, chatting, smiling, and cheering. At last, there was hope again. They set out on their journey, paddling together as they sang across the calm river. The young hero stood proudly at the front of the boat. Before long, they reached the land of fruits and vegetables. The moment they arrived, the villagers hurried out of the boats, their eyes wide with surprise. Wow! The place was even more beautiful than they ever imagined. They quickly built new huts in the land, their hearts full of joy and hope. Hooray! The villagers made Karl their king, cheering loudly as they bowed before him. Hail the young hero! His bravery had saved them all. Voices rose across the new land with the people saying, "Karl the king! Karl the king! Karl the king!" Thus, the young king reigned ever after,